Hello, 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 guys. I don't have the cover for the movie, but this is all I can do for you guys. This is the new Nightmare. It's not Freddy's Dead. But hey, I wanted to show something on Freddy, but obviously I don't have Freddy's Dead on DVD. I mean, I do, but it's not here. Basically, most likely it's in my new home. Because there's still DVDs that I have that I haven't brought to my new house yet. I mean, yeah, so it's probably in that big white container thing. Freddy's Dead is probably in there. Most likely it is. But anyways, I'll talk about this movie one day, New Nightmare, because this is one of my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I think this is like probably my top three favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movies. It would be the third one and the fourth one, and then this one. That's just me. I just love the whole story with Alice and everything like that. And the fifth movie is really, really good in my opinion. That's just me. But let's talk about Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is because shout out to Minty Comedic Arts. He recently made a video about Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare, and I want to talk about the movie. Actually, I do. I want to talk about the movie mainly because I'll say this right now. What's my story with this movie? Easy. I watched all the Freddy movies, and then there was around the time I watched this movie, you know, and then there was a time that Freddy and Jason still wasn't out basically, so I was still like, hey, what's I was still trying to think about what's going. I mean, Freddy versus Jason wasn't out yet, so I was trying to figure out how. Actually, no, I think it was out. It was out, but I think I didn't see it yet. Because it came out in 2003, and I didn't see it until years later. I think I saw it like in 2005 or 4, about like 2 years later, I think, which made sense. It was already on VHS and everything like that, DVDs. So when I was watching the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, basically, and I was watching Jason and all that stuff, I literally was telling myself, all right, part 5 ended and everything like that. And in my head, I'm just like, how come there wasn't another Freddy movie before Wes Craven took over or some shit, Maybe it could have been just probably one final Freddy movie or some shit like that. I don't know. And then all of a sudden, I go to a store, I believe, right? I'm trying to remember. It's been so long. I'm 30 years old now, guys. This is happening when I was a kid, so I'm trying to remember. I went to a store, and then I saw the cover for Freddy's Dead, and it said, Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare. I'm like, what the and the thing is, I didn't see it, because the very first time I actually, that was the second time actually that I saw it, actually. That was the second time I actually saw it, because I was just like, yo, what the heck? Because I didn't know the title of the movie at the time. Because when I did first saw Freddy versus Jason, Freddy's Dead, I was asleep at my grandparents' house, right? And then, we were sleeping and everything like that. And I woke up in the middle of the night, and there was something on TV, and I see Freddy Krueger. And I'm like, what the hell? What is this movie? I was literally at the end of the part with Freddy when he's about to die, like when the freaking firecracker was about to go on him and shit like that. Good God, this is a Looney Tunes movie. I mean, I don't care. If you tell me that this is the Looney Tunes of Freddy Krueger, it's, to be honest, I enjoyed it as a kid, and I still enjoyed it as an adult. To be quite honest, I was still scared with Freddy and everything like that. So watching this movie, when I did watch it, still had a punch with me. I grew up at the right place at the right time to watch that movie, to be quite honest with you. But I'll get to that soon. When I did first saw this movie, when I first saw it, it was on TV, and it was shown at the end, obviously. Then Freddy explodes, you see his head, and then they show the credits of all the Freddy movies, and I thought that was really cool, but it scared the fuck out of me too at the same time, I was just scared as fuck as Freddy as a kid. And then eventually I started seeing, eventually YouTube became a thing, right? And I started seeing trailers to Freddy's Dead. And I remember and when I saw the trailer to Freddy's Dead, I remember watching it to my former friend, basically. I remember me and him were watching that trailer, and we were just like, we want to watch this shit. We did. We wanted to watch this shit because it was so out there, but at the same time, it was so trippy, but also like epic at the same time. That's how we felt when we were younger. We were like young teenagers at the time. like about what, 12 and 13, 14, literally. And when I was watching this movie, I couldn't hate it. I didn't hate this movie. Still to this day, I cannot hate this movie. I can't bring myself to hate Freddy's Dead. I can't. I don't get the hate. I mean, I do get the hate, but I don't understand the rage that people have with this movie. I don't. I can understand the remake though. People having the rage with that one, but this one, really, this is what the book the hammer's back for you. Did you saw the trailer to this movie? That's why that's why I always like to convey when there's certain movies that people look at and be like, "Oh, this shit is crap" and everything like that. And I look at the trailer, and the trailer kind of resembles what the movie is. I'm all like, "What the fuck do you expect then? Did you see the trailer, or you just didn't care?" You know? And in my opinion, I think they did save the best for last. At least story wise, they did. They did. Because you have the whole point of Freddy meeting his daughter. Spoiler. That's good. I actually like that shit. And the trailer for Freddy's Dead, in my opinion, again, I love it. It's great put together and everything like that. Probably misleading because Freddy comes back soon after this. But the thing is, too, this is not the real Freddy Krueger that we grew up with. This is the mythical Freddy that is not chained to the writer's script and the actor. It's great. It is. I think this is the strongest Freddy. Anyways, most likely he is. He's like the strongest Freddy, but also the dumbest Freddy, mainly because how he dies, in my opinion. I'm just making that as a joke. I'm not saying he's the dumbest Freddy. No Freddy's really dumb. It's just how they got beaten, because this movie is literally Hansel and Gretel homage, which is great. I love Hansel and Gretel. Hell yeah. And you could tell that it has that little flame there, the two actors there, and then Freddy there. Right, the cover right there even is telling you it's Hansel and Gretel. I like that. I like when titles can actually tell you the theme of the movie before you even watch it, you know? Or when you do watch it, you get the theme of the poster. And I love that. I really do. But going back to Freddy's Dead, this was going to be a sequel to Nightmare 6. I mean, Nightmare 5. This is Nightmare 6. There was going to be a sequel to Nightmare 5, and they were going to bring back the Alice character and all that, and probably bring her son back, make him age up and everything like that. That's one of the reasons why the character in this movie is called John Doe. So it could be possible that this is Alice's son. It could be possible. I said it could be. I'm not saying it's not. It could be. I mean, the original script was going to be like that. So maybe they just took elements that were in the original script and just put it in the movie, you know? To some people, sometimes me, I would still consider that canon, in my opinion. That's just me. Because I remember one time when I rewatched this with my friend, not that long ago, but like a few years ago, I did rewatch this with my friend, like around what, 2016 or something, 17, when I rewatched it. And my friend, because we were watching all the Freddy movies all together, and he was like, "Yo, where's Alice?" And I'm just like, "She's just not in this one. This is not her story anymore." Which he was kind of disappointed about it, and I wasn't, and I didn't blame the way he felt, because I was the same way too. Because because the Alice character is so great, I love that character, and the fact that they were going to kill her off in the sixth movie. She did last for 2 movies, you know, that's fine. But still, I would have never killed her off. I wouldn't. I would let her probably go through hell to the point that you think she is going to die. But I wouldn't do that, to be quite honest with you. I would not kill her off, in my opinion. It's like killing off Rachel, in my opinion. That's just me. Again, that's just me as a fan. You know, if they ever bring her back and kill off in the Nightmare movie, I'm not going to be too upset. But at the same time, I feel like you should have killed that character off anyways. There's a reason why they brought back Nancy back, even though they killed her off, you know? So, just saying. You just don't, even Russ Craven knew, I shouldn't kill my characters off that people love and care about. Imagine killing Laurie Strode. Oh, wait, you did that. Didn't work. You know? It's like killing Dr. Loomis. You don't do that. You never did kill Dr. Loomis. The actor just died of old age. That's why you couldn't use the Dr. Loomis character anymore. You know? So, but going back, Freddy's Dead, the new Nightmare. When I first discovered the trailer and everything like that, I was so enthralled of watching it. And when I did watch it, I was satisfied. I wasn't pissed. I wasn't upset. I wasn't like, what the fuck am I watching? I had fun with it. Robert Englund is having the most fun he ever has in the Nightmare movie, in my opinion. This movie's great. When I was a kid, there was some parts in this movie that really scared the fuck out of me. When Freddy's using the chalkboard as razors and all that. Oh, that killed me as a kid. And then that also killed me too with the kid with the bad hearing aid and stuff like that. I mean, he got a hearing aid and stuff like that, and if Freddy just uses that advantage, it became like a leech on his um um ear and everything like that, and made his ear, I mean, his head big and big, and then eventually exploded. Holy shit, man! Like that shit is scary. It is. That shit terrified me as a kid. Looking back at it now, obviously it's Looney Tunes. It's literally is Looney Tunes. Um, I like even when Freddy brings down the spikes as like a freaking Bugs Bunny character, I'm looking at it like this is Looney Tunes. You know, even as a kid, I was just like, this is Looney Tunes, but it never synced into me that this was a Freddy Looney Tunes movie until like, oh, I know, this year. Mainly because so many people talk about it, and I'm over here like, I guess it is, and I'm over here like thinking about it. I'm like, no, it actually is, huh? It's actually one of my favorite Freddy movies. It's not my top 3 favorite Freddy movies. If it's probably my top 5, you know, because there's only 6 original Freddy movies. That is if you want to count this one, 7, and Freddy vs. Jason, which is 8. So if you want to count them, which I do, 8 films. Not bad, to be quite honest with you. We do not count the remake, even though Jack Lee or Haley did a fine job as Freddy, and he's not a bad replacement to be Freddy. It's just the script, man. The script was lackluster, and they kept repeating the same bullshit from the other movies. You know, but Jack Lee or Haley is not a bad casting choice to play as Freddy. I know people might talk shit about him just because he's not Robert Englund, but really, guys, let's just admit to ourselves. The reason you probably hate Jack Lee or Haley is because the script is bad. You know, because in my opinion, I don't think he is a bad Freddy. It's just that iconic look. I know people understand that. You know, it's just Robert Englund is Freddy. It's the same thing with Brad Dourif. He is Chucky, and when they're gone, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? That's why a lot of people say, "Yo, have Robert Englund make one more Freddy movie. He doesn't have to be in the makeup through the whole movie." Like there's an article saying that anyone can be Freddy Krueger. So if someone goes to sleep and have a dream of Freddy, I could jump up just as Freddy Krueger and I can go after your ass, you know. And then by the end of the movie, you will see the real Freddy, which is Robert Englund, and then and then the kids are trying to fight Freddy, and Freddy's like, "Oh, these kids today," and shit like that, you know. So, which is a nice reference to this movie because I do want to talk about that because when I saw that in the trailer, can I talk about the trailer again? The trailer to Freddy's Dead is like at the end and everything where Freddy's like, what's with kid today, huh? Like that line, I like that line because this movie takes place in the 90s. This is a 90s movie. This movie is basically telling you 90s kids were the rebels and even Freddy was getting in on it. And I like that. I do. I like that because look at the teenagers in this movie. You know, they're not the normal Nightmare kids that you really grown basically. They're not like other people that you see in the Nightmare movies. And I like the characters in these movies, in my opinion. They're not bad. They weren't bad at all. They definitely were not shit, to be quite honest with you. I don't think no actor is actually shit in these movies, to be quite honest with you. I think everyone does a really good job playing their own roles in these Nightmare movies. Nightmare on Elm Street movies, I mean. The original 8 ones. I mean, the acting in Freddy vs. Jason could be a little bit better, but you're not there to see the characters. Sorry. You're here to see Freddy and Jason fucking kill each other. And that's what we got. Movie of the year, in my opinion. Look, I get it. Yeah, I know, I get it, guys. Some horror fans want more juice with the characters and everything like that, and that's fine. But me, if it's a versus movie, I just care about these motherfuckers fighting. It's like the same thing with King Kong and Godzilla. That's the real story. Godzilla and Kong. I don't give a fuck anybody else. You're just there. All right? Seriously. That's mostly all the Godzilla movies too. You're just there. But hey, if you could be good, that's a bonus. Because they're all good Godzilla characters in some movies. Like for example, GMK, Giant Monsters All Godzilla, Giant Monsters All Out Attack. Oh my god. The acting in that movie is good. It really is. The dubbing is not bad either. It's really good. And it's a good movie too. Same thing with the Godzilla 1984 slash 1980 five. That one's a good one too. So there's some good Godzilla movies that actually have good acting and great monster stuff. So I always appreciate those stuff. Of course, I will always appreciate that shit. You know, it's just that when you know a director is not trying to do that and they want you to pay attention to something else that's more fun that you could be more fun with, then yeah, you know, it's just that there's some people that don't see that sometimes, and I'm just like, are you paying attention to the movie, or are you just talking shit about it mainly because you're angry that they don't have certain stuff in it, you know? Because there's a difference, you know. Um, I mean, for crying out loud, there's no Freddy book, you know. Were these made for novels first before it was made into films? No, they weren't. You know, that's a whole different story for another day, basically. But anyways, that's just me. That's just me as a person. That literally is just me. But so when I finally did watch this movie, completely again, I loved it. And thinking about it now, it's just a good time, a good Freddy movie. Um, I will say that, you know, some people saying that, you can show this movie to any age group of kids and they'll be fine with it, but if you show them the other ones, they probably won't like it or won't or will be too scared of it. You're most likely probably right. The reason I say that is because the reason I say probably right is because when I did watch this movie as a kid, I was still scared. You know? So, but looking back, it is a Looney Tunes Freddy movie, which is not bad. I mean, again, Minty said it himself. If this is the worst, if this is how bad Freddy can be, then really, what are we complaining about? And I'm like, thank you, because it can't be all that bad if this is the lowest how Freddy Krueger can be. You know, and if you scream and get angry at that, I'm just gonna look at you like you take movies way too seriously, to the point that you're like, if you fuck anything up, I'm gonna, you know, those fucking, I don't know, to be honest, I can't take those people seriously. I can't. You need to have fun, man. Or you need to grab some stuff you need to grab some elements that you had fun with, and then walk away with it. For example, I despise the last Airbender live action movie, but I took some stuff from that movie that was just like, you know, they had some decent stuff happening in it, but overall, it wasn't no. Like even the air, like I couldn't even give a thumbs up with the fucking bending. It's all was trash. Okay, the only thing I give credit is some special effects that look great. That's it. It's sad because that movie could have been the next Star Wars and shit like that, but yeah. Hopefully Netflix learns from not doing that, and I hope they are too, because the One Piece show did phenomenal, and right now they're killing it. Netflix is killing it. There's other shows that are doing it too, are competing, are killing it. So that's just me as a viewer of what I'm watching right now. But moving on with this whole Freddy is Dead movie. The story is really fascinating, mainly because you have this character John Doe that is the last one of the Elm Street kids, basically, and apparently Freddy killed them all. He killed everybody in Elm Street, and there's only one person left. So what Freddy does is that he makes sure that he goes to a different location in the city, well, a different location of the ward, obviously, of town and stuff like that, because everyone in Springwood is just adults that are literally, because they lost all their kids, there's no kids around, so they're acting like they're all kids around. You know, there's even one part in this movie when they actually go to a school and the teacher's there. There's a few teachers there in the school teaching kids, and there's no kids there at all. That's how fucked up all these people got. And the thing is too, I love that this movie in a way didn't really point it out of like, well, technically it did. It hinted it. It never told you, but it did hinted that this place is abandoned. No one's not coming here. Either people moved out and never came back, or by law, it is basically abandoned. You know, it makes you kind of think of like, wait a minute, is it so bad in Elm Street to the point that the government of the ward literally had to close it off and couldn't explain what it was, but everyone kept saying Freddy, Freddy, Freddy. And, you know, some people probably look back and still were like, didn't get it, or still were like, oh, what the hell? and people that did probably got it were just like, yeah, let's close this shit. Let's close this town to hide the secret. You know, there's just many layers to think of about this movie. This is what this movie made me think of. You know, all about all of that stuff. Hey, the movie never made you think about that stuff. That's fine. I just hope that me talking about it makes you think, hey, man, that's cool that you think about stuff with this movies. I know some people are like, oh, you're just thinking it too deeply. But I'm only here like, isn't movies supposed to be break down and look at through a fine comb and tooth lens sometimes? You know, oh, but not all movies are like that. All movies are like that. And if you don't think so, you're fooling yourselves. And that's why people don't learn when it comes to movies. Seriously. Why do you think we still have the same boring ass crap sometimes? You guys don't learn. And look at what again, going back. I've talked about this before. Look at Scott Pilgrim. Look at the movies that were freaking phenomenal but made no money. A good example, all the movies that came out in the 80s. So many great movies that came out in the 80s, and none of them made shit. Now the cult classics now. For example, Big Trouble in Little China. Another example. That's the thing. In the 80s, if you want E.T. or Batman, you're going to fail. Or any, hey, even Disney wasn't doing around really good, actually. So when Who Framed Roger Rabbit came, they made money like crazy. And then that's what actually triggered to the Renaissance, to be quite honest with you. Yes, without Who Framed Roger Rabbit, we wouldn't have Lion King, Aladdin, Hercules, The Little Mermaid. I am dead serious. Because that literally branched off the new Renaissance of Disney. That is fucking dope. That is fucking badass. I remember finding that out not that long ago. I'm like, Roger Rabbit did that? Oh, hell yeah. That's dope. And for example, another one too, Howard the Duck. That came out in the 80s and it bombed. But without that movie, we wouldn't have Pixar. Look at that. I'm dead serious. So without Howard the Duck, we wouldn't got Pixar. That is some shit, man. That is some shit. That is crazy. You see? That's crazy, guys. And yes, maybe some people might not look at Howard the Duck like that. But you guys got to understand, like, there was just movies out here that did stuff that eventually became the norm of Hollywood now. And then some movies that bombed, that were great, Hollywood was just like, no one doesn't want to see that shit. And we're over here like, yes, we do. But no one didn't pay attention to it, didn't care for it, because either the studio didn't care for it, so there was no marketing or anything like that. And no one didn't see it. And then you have stupid people out here like John Campion saying that, well, that's your guy's fault. I'm like, oh, it's our fault that these motherfuckers didn't promote it for us to see it? Yeah. Fucking dumbass. Fucking dumbass. Seriously. Seriously. You know? That's a fucking dumbass move. That's a fucking stupid pissed off move, man. I'm dead serious. Like, for real. I don't know, man. Like, he has a lot of problems if he thinks like that, you know? So it's funny too, because John Campia is one of those people that would talk about stuff that's relevant. I mean, we'll talk about stuff that is famous, basically, like the whole, you know, when they're trying to push the bullshit woke crap. You could tell he was trying to do stuff like that, but that didn't work. Most people are like, really? How would you notice that? It's just something that I've noticed from him when I don't watch it a lot anymore. I don't watch his stuff anymore, but back then, when just watching it, I'm just like, damn, man, like, what the hell? But anyways, that doesn't matter. What matters is this movie. The kills. I mean, there's not a lot of people that die in this movie, actually. The more I think about it. Yeah, there's just, okay, the head explosion scene. Okay, the TV scene. That one was cool, though. The pothead kid smoking, he's just like, yo, I'm just watching TV. Little reference to, and then there's a reference, I mean, Johnny Depp makes a cameo and stuff like that. So, okay, there's like 2 kills right there. Is that it, though? I think that's it. I think we only got 2 kills in this movie. Yeah. We only got 2 kills in this movie? No, 3. Sorry, 3. John Doe. Yeah, basically 3 guys died. Yeah. 3 guys died in this movie. Yeah, that's really it. Huh. I thought more people died in this movie for some reason. This movie's more of a story movie anyways. They go back to Freddy's backstory, which a lot of people do appreciate and everything like that. I think people look back at this movie and people were like, you know what, I might not like certain things about this movie, but at least we got some of this stuff with Freddy's backstory, him being like a husband and then having a kid. That stuff I can all keep basically, you know, even the people that hated this movie, you know. Me, I don't see the hate. I mean, again, yes, I do, but I don't get why it's so hated. Basically, I would never get that. Um, so anything else I could talk about with this movie, man? The way I was going through when I first saw this movie for the first time. Again, I was hyped watching this movie when I first watched it. I was born in '93. This came out in '91, so I watched it years later, like I said. And when I did finally watch it, it was right. It was just a great time for me to watch this type of Freddy movie. And again, I just had fun. I really had fun with it. I had no really complaints with it or anything like that. Like, it really, I had no complaints about it at all. There are some comedic stuff, like when John Doe is just like, no, he's not going to make me get out of this room. Fire. Shit. And you know that's a funny scene. But then right after that, he jumps out of the freaking window and he dies anyways, taking that scene completely useless sometimes, in my opinion. I mean, it depends how you watch it, in my opinion. But yeah, still, it's probably not, you know, not there. Not really all there, I guess. But hey, this is why people do call it the Looney Tunes Freddy movie, you know. And again, if this is the worst Freddy of all, if this is the worst Freddy movie, and then we got this one right afterward, which was actually pretty good, then I see nothing wrong with it. I really don't. It's funny too because some people think this is the worst movie of all time, and they think that, oh, thank goodness that Freddy and Jason came and New Nightmare came to the franchise, because if this was it, oh, it would have ruined it and shit like that. I'm like, you ruined it for yourself, dude. You only ruined it for yourself. That's really it. That's really it. We're not talking about a whole freaking Michael Myers series that we see nowadays. We're not talking about the new modern Halloween movies. We're talking about the classics here. The classics that made us love these characters to begin with. Yes, I know some of the movies are not as good as it is. For crying out loud, back then, Nightmare 2 got criticized as the worst shit. Now no one doesn't want to criticize Nightmare 2 anymore. Have you noticed that? And Nightmare 2 is not a bad movie. I love Nightmare 2. I do. The whole premise of Freddy taking someone's body and everything like that, you know, it's so cool. And then you have this gay character in a way, obviously, and has a girlfriend, but yeah, he's obviously like attracted to his other friend, you know, like this Nightmare 2 was actually really ahead of its time, to be quite honest with you. You know, and Robert Englund even pointed out that in Romania, they love Nightmare 2. They got everything. When the movie first came out, they loved it. They got it. They got the chemist. They got the story between the feminine male and the strong masculine woman. They got all of that basically. You know, and the thing is too, it was two characters that, yes, they were different, but they still loved each other. And I was just like, yo, that's pretty cool. You don't see that a lot in movies, man. Like Nightmare 2 was a really, really fascinating movie, in my opinion, when you look back at it. You know, at the time when it came out, people hated it. People hated it. There were some scenes, obviously, because most people would be like, hey, this is the gay Freddy movie. You're not gone. You're not gone. You're not gone. You're not gone. All right. If the first one was the straight, the second one is the gay. I guess someone had look at these Freddy movies. All of these Freddy movies had to take a spot with something. The original is the original. The second one's for the LGBT. The third one is literally for people that literally grew up with the first two movies and we fucking love it. You know, the fourth movie is basically almost like a remake, but still a continuation. Mainly because the reason I say this is because you kill the Nightmare kids off, even though you shouldn't, in my opinion. I always didn't like that in part 4. You just killed the kids off in part 3. Why? I don't know. You could have just added a little bit more characters into it. You know, that's why I feel like sometimes you put yourself in a brick wall with these characters sometimes, guys. Especially when new directors come in and they'll be like, new character, new character. Oh, what about these characters? Who gives a fuck? I have a new character and we're gonna kill these characters off. And then we'll hear like, no respect of story, huh? That was the one flaw that I had with the original Nightmare series. It's that no consistency sometimes with the story. Sometimes they do it, like with 1, 2, and 3, and then they do it good too with 4 and 5. So it is there. It's there. It's just that they don't tangle it as much, and technically they kind of tangle it with the other ones too, with 3 and 2 and 1, obviously with 4 and 5, because the last Elm Street Kids basically that one. So if Freddy wants to move on to a new generation, which he'd be stuck if he just defeats the regular generation that the parents killed him, you know. So it is kind of funny that they try to like put that in a movie, but at the same time, you really didn't needed it, you know. Like you didn't really have to explain that, but the fact that you did made a whole movie about that is kind of honorable, to be quite honest with you, you know. So in this movie, this Freddy's Dead is just a fantastic ride in my opinion. It doesn't stop. It doesn't. And the thing is, too, again, did you guys see the trailer? You see Freddy in a freaking Wicked Witch outfit, and he literally says, "I get you, my pretty, and your little soul too." Come on, guys. You literally had to watch the movie to literally, so the movie can literally, so you literally can look at the movie and be like, "This is going to be crap." Oh, and you're going to be like, "Oh, it's one of those movies." You didn't see that from the trailer. You didn't see that from the trailer. I'm fucking confused here. You explain it to me. You know? I don't know, like, look, this was the time when Freddy was actually getting dropped off, basically, because New Line Cinema was doing other projects and stuff like that. But for a 90s Freddy movie, and this is a 90s Freddy movie too. This is a 90s Freddy movie also. This came out in 94, I believe. Because I always felt like this came out in 96. Nope. This came out and then Scream came out after that. So then after that, you know, the horror genre kind of did change with Scream. But these movies were like the last ditch effort to have the last classic horrors to be modern. Not modern, but like have a comeback to the point that, hey, if we don't see these characters again, at least they came to a modern era to be like, okay, they're here and now we can talk about them, basically. And what would they do in this generation, basically? That's why I kind of like Freddy's Dead. You know, that's why I pointed out the line. What's with kids today, huh? You know, it's like that. There's a reason why that line is there. The people that made this movie knew that the 90s kids will actually enjoy this movie. And I did. I enjoyed the fuck out of this movie. This is a 90s movie for me. Why do you think I enjoyed this movie too as much? You know, a lot of 90s movies a lot of people talk shit about, I would never get. I would never get. I mean, you could say that, oh, you just grew up in the 90s and you're biased, but you would have said the same thing too if you grew up in the 80s and this came out in the 80s and you watched it so many times as a kid. Come on, guys. Come on. Now, I do understand when you look back and you thought the movie was good, but it's not. Of course, that's happened to me so many times before too. But if you still get that feeling as when you were a kid, basically when you're rewatching it as an adult, why is that a bad thing? Why are you still going to argue about it? Why are you still going to look at the movie and be like, this is still crap? But to crap that, you know, I'm willing to die on. Well, you know what? Okay then. I don't mind when people say that. You know, it's like, you know what? This movie might be bad, but it's a bad movie to die on. And you know what? I feel the same way with Lady of Water. I think the M. Night Shyamalan movie. Good God, the movie is so fucking hilarious. It's just pure gold, fucking funny. Literally, it's just so bad that it's good. It is. In a spiritual lightning way, though, that movie is actually pretty actually good. You'd be surprised, even though M. Night Shyamalan did fuck that up with The Last Airbender. You can't even look at that shit in a spiritual lightning way because they just fucked it up really bad. It's almost like the movie Roots. Yeah. Yep, I said that. But with this Freddy movie, I do feel like people over the years, people do look at this movie, and some people are fond of it. Some people do like this movie. I like this movie. I've said this so many times in this video, but so many people that grew up with this movie really enjoyed this movie, and they don't see it as bad as I do. You know, is it one of the worst nightmare movies? To be quite honest, no. I'm sorry. You might say yes, but to me, it's not. Again, will I put in my top 3? No, but my top 5, yes. I will put this in my top 5 Freddy movies. I would. I would. Would it be number 5? Yes. It won't be number 1 or anything like that. Number 1 would still be part 3. Number 1 is always going to be 3 for me. It is. Nightmare on Elm Street 3, part 3 is so good. It is. It's so good. You know. So I really enjoy. I really enjoy those movies, and I enjoyed this one too. The whole thing with Freddy's daughter and everything like that was so well done, in my opinion. I thought that we could have done a little bit more with it though in the movie, even though it was something that we could go back to. I feel like we could go back to this type of story again, you know. And the thing is too, originally in Freddy vs. Jason, what is it? The main heroine, her boyfriend, he was supposed to be Freddy's son. There was a deleted scene with that, but they cut that out because it would have made Freddy look like the good guy. I mean, not the good guy. It would have made Freddy look like the winner of the fight of Freddy vs. Jason, which was not really the idea. They were just doing it as a story, basically. So it was Will, basically. Like, he took over Freddy and shit like that. Or it was hinted that all this time it was a dream, and she was gonna die anyways. You know, it's funny too because in the comic books of Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash, they kill them off. I think Jason kills them because they go back to the Camp Crystal Lake feeling sorry for Jason and shit like that. Then Jason comes up and kills them. They feel sorry for him, but he killed you. Congratulations. What was your first thought? You know? What was your first thought? So, I think, again, if you watch this movie and then watch Jason Goes to Hell right afterwards, I think you have a good time too, in my opinion. Because I think these two movies are actually really fun on their own too, but they're fun together to watch. And then you could put Freddy vs. Jason right next to it, right with that, and you'd be like, yeah. To be honest, if you really want to think of Jason and Freddy series, like a short version of it, then pick Freddy's Dead, and obviously Jason Goes to Hell, and then watch Freddy vs. Jason. That's a short, little, beautiful timeline right there. You know, if you want to make it condensed for yourself, you know, for those people that just want to have a nice, good time on Halloween night, basically, you know. So that's it, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you guys think about Freddy's Dead. Do you like it? Do you hate it? How did you feel about the trailer when you first saw the trailer for the very first time? How did you thought about everything? I know the 3D effects. Like, you have to get the original box set to see the 3D. I never saw the 3D stuff and everything like that. My mom had to even point me out that was all 3D and everything like that because she knew about it. So I was just like, holy shit, you know? Because there was a part in the movie where Freddy's daughter puts the 3D glasses on, and that was a hint for you to put the 3D glasses on. And apparently, when Minty pointed out that some people didn't even know that at all. And I'm over here like, well, you know what? Those are idiots. You mean to tell me you're going to watch a fucking 3D movie, or they're going to give you 3D glasses, and you're going to wait for the queue for them to put the 3D glasses on, and you didn't see that shit? Oh, you went to the bathroom? Well, whose fault is that? 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 To be quite honest with you, that only tells me how dumb the audience were when they first watched this movie. Just saying. You probably guys already hated it when before you even watched it. You know? Oh, I hate this movie. I'm just gonna watch it so I can talk shit about it more. You know? So I don't know, man. I don't know what you were thinking. If you were watching this in the movie theater in the 90s and you did not put those 3D glasses on when you saw the woman put her 3D glasses on. Were you thinking? Were you just asleep? If you were using the bathroom, that's fine. It's still your fault, but yeah, you were using the bathroom. But yeah, you didn't see other people wear their 3D glasses either. The people that actually were smart to do it, you didn't see them being like, oh, they're putting their 3D glasses on, so this is the moment. You know? You didn't tell me, you mean to tell me no one in the movie theater, not even one person, they didn't look at another person that saw that putting their 3D glasses when she put them on, and they didn't put them on either? And then everyone else does it too? Apparently, you guys never heard of the monkey experiment. You look that up. I don't have to tell you what it is. But I'll see you guys later. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, I give this movie a 7 out of 10. I will watch it again. I haven't watched it. I'm just doing it on top of my dome. So I think this movie's fun. I will watch it again. I might just watch it after this video. So just to be refreshed and stuff like that, I'll be like, how fun do I really actually like this movie? And you know what? I do like the poster for Freddy's Dead, to be quite honest with you. It is kind of funny though. If I would have done with the Freddy poster to make it more accurate to the point that you guys are watching a Looney Tunes movie, like have the Looney Tunes rings behind Freddy, basically. But since it's a red dark background, make it dark and red. I'll make it look like that just to tell people, yes, this is a Looney Tunes Freddy movie. At least they did something new, something different. That's one of the reasons why they did drop up the title. Nightmare on Elm Street 6. It is the 6th movie in the entry, but they dropped the title. And then literally going back before I end this video, when that title came out in that trailer, like Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare. That right there, man, that shit got me goosebumps. That shit, like, once you see the walls falling, Freddy's dead. Then the walls flip into black. Everything, the screen becomes red, and then it says the final nightmare. I'm like, yo, when I first saw that trailer as a kid, I was just, my jaw dropped. I was just like, that's an epic trailer. That's a fucking awesome trailer. Can I see this movie now? That's how I felt like when I first saw this trailer. That's just me, man. You could disagree with me all you want, but I love this trailer, and I will always love this trailer. All right? So I'll see you guys later. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you guys think about this movie. Tell me what you guys think about the trailer. Tell me what you guys, how you think about the story of this movie. Tell me what you guys think about the Looney Tunes aspect of Freddy. You think it works well? You think it works fine? And do you think that, hey, you know what? It's passable, basically, or do you just think that it's a piece of shit and it should not have Looney Tunes stuff in it, basically? I mean, compared to what you saw from Part 5 and this one, I can see why, because Part 5 was so grim and dark to the point that you were like, my God, what's the next movie about? Because they did really well with the whole Freddy and his mom thing. That was just great. So, and it's funny too that they never brought her back from this movie because you have her daughter, you have Freddy's daughter. So why not meet her grandmother? Basically, that's just me, man. Get a little bit backstory or something like that. Maybe that wasn't in the original script, but they cut that out for time, or they just didn't have enough budget to do it. But I think that was a missed opportunity there, in my opinion. If there was missed opportunities in this movie, it was that. To bring Miss Kruger back to this, to be quite honest with you, I think it was a missed opportunity to bring her back for this story, in my opinion. So yeah, that's it. And that would have been more cementive of why Freddy dies permanently. His mom, Yeah, to be quite honest with you, his own family kills him, takes him out permanently. So it's almost like, oh, I got to find somebody that will destroy your own daughter, and she's going to help me. So, something like that. I wouldn't mind it. Hell, you have your Freddy movie right there, to be quite honest with you. Make a comic book out of it or something like that. Or make it animated. I don't care. At this point, the sky's the limit with Freddy Krueger, to be quite honest with you. I don't mind to make an animated Freddy Krueger movie. I will watch that shit as long as you keep it the violence the way it is and everything like that. You know. So that's just me. I'll see you guys later and be safe.